The other thing about NIL that bubbled up last week, because the whole NIL dynamic,
it's getting interesting.
College football is now dealing with, because for years college football had a corrupt system that violated the federal antitrust laws. The legislative branch spoke more than 130 years ago with the antitrust legislation. The judicial branch has spoken more recently, now that somebody has finally realized, hey, all these NCAA rules are really antitrust violations because it's a bunch of independent businesses coming together and hiding under the NCAA umbrella to make these rules that fix the price of their workforce. Now that it's happening, chaos has ensued. Enter the executive branch with the nudging of Nick Saban, who frankly quit because he could no longer compete in today's marketplace. I know there's a more high-minded way to put it. The way I see it, he quit because he couldn't compete anymore. More importantly, he couldn't stack the deck in his favor the way that he used to, and he saw which way the wind was blowing, and I'm going to get out of Dodge before I finish fifth in the SEC. So now that that's all happening, college football is like, please save us from the mess we've created. President's considering an executive order that would in some way limit NIL, and I don't think they're going to do anything. I think he was just placating Saban with that comment.
Right.
The Wall Street Journal had the report. But, Chris, hey, if they do it, I want to see how they're going to restrict the pay that goes to CEOs. Are they going to restrict what actors and musicians make? Are they going to restrict how much money you can make off of stock trades? Because what the hell? At the end of the day, it's a capitalist society. It's free enterprise. How in the world are you going to restrict what these kids can make for their skills, abilities, and sacrifices playing college football?
Agreed. Listen, a bigger scale of thing, yeah, there's a little too much of the executive branch, in my opinion, right now. I don't know, making things hard on the little man or the everyday common man. I don't like that. And this would fall into that as well. Like, whoa, wait, oh, yeah, I don't know. They don't know if they deserve it, coming from, somebody who made money.
Okay.
Okay, either way.
We'll be fine.
No, but I don't. I'm just trying to say I don't love that. I don't love also within that. Yes, I believe, right? Nick Saban, you heard me say this off air a little bit. Yeah, I think there's teams, and you heard me say this at the end of the college year because I had people telling me this all throughout the business. Some of the college powers to be who have been awesome are scared right now. Yeah, they're scared because the scales have tipped. Texas is about to spend $40 million on their team this year. 40. And they're going to make a whole lot more of that at Texas football. So they don't give a damn. And we made a big deal last year about Ohio State spending 20. Texas is going to double it a year later. And where I think Nick Saban gets into the ear, whether it's just because he thinks so or he's doing it for Alabama because they don't have that type of money to compete, or other SEC teams, I don't know. But either way, yeah, the way it is right now, and I don't know how you change things like you talked about with all the stuff that's around it, but Texas, no one's going to have more money than them. Notre Dame, nobody's going to have more money than them. You're going to see Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, and Michigan kind of control the landscape here until if there is a salary cap done or anything like that. But I find that hard to believe because of the things you just talked about there. Yeah.
Two ways to do it.
Right.
One, embrace a nationwide union, because if you have a multi-employer bargaining union, you get the same antitrust exemption that the NFL has.
Yeah.
That's how the NFL has all of its rules. It's 32 different businesses, but they have a multi-employer bargaining unit under a CBA. Unionize these players, and you get the rules you want. You get the order you're looking for. But you also got to deal with a union, so 6 of one, half a dozen the other, or, lesser of two evils, as the case may be. Second, you go to Congress and you try to get them to give you a limited antitrust exemption. It's nothing that could ever be done by executive order. I don't like any of that. I think college football should be expected to clean up its own mess. It created this mess by exploiting the players for decades and denying them anything other than an education that most of them didn't really want, because they were lured thinking, we're going to turn you into an NFL player. That's what they went to college to major in. They went to college to major in football because they believe, even though the stats as it relates to any given player are strongly against them, they believe I'm the one that's going to play in the NFL because some of them do. Somebody has to.
Right.
Why not me?
Right.
Even though it's 1 out of 100.
Right.
Why not me? And so they've used that to deny them fair payment while they've been jamming cash into their pockets and coffers and vaults for years. And now the shit's hit the fan. The rabbit's got the gun, and they need to figure out their problem. And if guys like Nick Saban decide they can't compete anymore, they can't stack the deck in their favor, fine, go. Go, Nick. I remember when he first started complaining about NIL, and I said, he knows. It's going to be harder to have 10 first-round picks every year in the recruiting class because he's going to have to come up with real money, and I don't think he can do it at Alabama. People were like, oh, no, you're stupid. That's Nick Saban saying, hey, you know what? You got that rule out there that's not very good. You better get rid of it before I use it against you. No. He quit. He quit and he walked away because his edge was now gone. The thing that made him better than everyone else was gone. They moved his cheese, and he had no idea how to go find it, so he left the maze. That's it. And you're right. The SEC is going to be Texas and a bunch of other teams if they don't do something, but an executive order is not the answer.
No, I don't think so either. I hope not. And yeah, you're right. There's just, I don't know how you could say we're going to make a cap on players or certain things like that. Right. I don't know how that's going to work with college football. Again, too, when the coaches are starting to make double-digit millions and moving around and going to jobs everywhere they want. You got certain guys on a team where their jersey sales are doing millions of dollars. You can't tell me you're going to pay him the same as third-string running back that's like on the team. So I'm very intrigued to see where this all goes over the next few years. But yeah, I mean, as a Texas fan, I like it. Because we got money. We got money down there. Texas football, we ain't going nowhere.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.